Hello, everybody, and welcome to the X Factor with the Crypto Hipster, episode 16 for the date ending, the week ending of December 2nd, 2022. And today we have some breaking news to kick off the show. We're going to talk about Anchor, ANKR. Anchor confirms an exploit last night. The decentralized finance protocol is working with the exchanges to immediately halt trading of its BNB, Binance Chain, staking rewards token, ABNBC. The BNB chain based decentralized finance DeFi protocol Anchor has confirmed it has been hit by a multi billion dollar exploit last night. The attack first appeared by on-chain security analyst Peck Shield at 12:35 a.m. on December 2nd, which is this morning. Within an hour of the attack, Anchor confirmed that a BNB token has been exploited massively, and is working with the exchanges to immediately halt trading of the compromised token. The attacker was purportedly able to mint 20 trillion Anchor reward bearing staked BNB tokens. Um, and wow, according to a Twitter post from on chain analysis from firm Look On Chain, the exploiter has since used services such as Uniswap, Tornado Cash, and various bridges to swap and obfuscate the funds in order to gain around $5 million worth of USD coin. It also added that the underlying assets on Anchor staking are safe. Oh yeah, and all infrastructure services were unaffected. But if the infrastructure was unaffected, is that an inside job? Is it an outside job? Is it a side job? What is it actually? So that is breaking news, and you heard it here on the X Factor to kick off the show. Now, let's go to I don't know. Let's go to the U.S. because a lot of interesting things are happening in the U.S. The first thing I want to report on is some news of this week, and it's not FTX yet. We're going to talk about Library. Library, LBRY, says it will likely be dead following its loss to the SEC. The SEC likes to, for those outside of the U.S., the SEC here likes to police the good actors and likes to apparently let the bad actors slide. But we'll see what happens coming down the pike. The firm behind the decentralized content platform Library said its days are likely numbered following its recent loss against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in court. They lost in court. He tweeted is specifically Library Inc. that must die. The Library protocol and blockchain will continue the future. We expect Library's mission to continue on, but Library itself has been killed by legal and SEC acts. Now, that's a problem, right? Let me know your thoughts. It's a problem because you don't really have a decentralized competitor to YouTube, and all these content creators are putting their content on YouTube and they think they own it, and Google owns it. So how do we get content creators to be able to own their content after they put it out there publicly? That's something that has to be worked on in the crypto space and the blockchain space. And if you want Web3 to succeed, that has to happen. So let me know your thoughts on that. That's my opinion. Library essentially provides a blockchain based alternative to YouTube that offers less stringent censorship policies on its hosted content. The platform also facilitates direct tips in LBC token to content creators as opposed to the standard advertising revenue share model. It's a lovely model, the Library model, and hopefully its spirit will continue on. And hopefully the SEC won't get too many more wins in when they police good actors instead of bad ones. But speaking of bad actors, let's talk about I don't know FTX. Okay, so you know Actually, this came across my desk first. So sorry, I am going to really work on this one first, and that is Kraken. I want to talk about Kraken um, before we talk about FTX because it's worth talking about. Kraken cuts workforce by 30% in an effort to survive crypto winter. So, according to the CEO, the exchange grew too quickly to accommodate the fast growing crypto ecosystem. Cryptocurrency exchange Kraken announced on November 30th that it had made one of the hardest decisions and is cutting down its global workforce by approximately 1,100 people, comprising approximately 30% of its total workforce amid current market conditions. According to the CEO and co founder Jesse Powell, Kraken had to triple its workforce due to the fast growing crypto ecosystem, which we had in 2021 and 22. And the current pullback takes the size of the company's team back to where it was 12 months ago. Even more than 6 months ago, everything was great. But taking it back to was a year ago, the macro was already tough, and they held out. But recently, the industry was diminished. Near-term optimism about a crypto rebound. It doesn't look like we're going to be having a crypto rebound anytime soon. But we get to have something called hope. So I wish Kraken well. They seem to be one of the great good players in the industry, and they need to have to continue success long term. So this is a long term decision. Now let's talk about FTX. Actually, let's talk about Mike Novogratz. Um, He says Sam Fried, the guy who was interviewed by the New York Times the other day and had some really goofy looks on his face, and um, the Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz alleges Sam Bankman-Fried and his cohorts perpetuated fraud and suggested they should be put in jail. I agree. Former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried has been lambasted this week following a series of controversial public appearances with Galaxy Digital's Mike Novogratz, one of the latest to dish out a lashing to the former kingpin of crypto. Sam, I never considered you the kingpin. So people think you're a kingpin. They called you that. In no way, shape, or form in my world were you ever a kingpin. You might be really smart, but you're not a kingpin. December 1st, Galaxy Digital CEO Mike Novogratz unleashed a tirade of criticism toward SBF concerning his interview with Andrew Ross Sorkin at the New York Times annual Deal Book Summit on November 30. I watched that. If you hadn't had an opportunity to watch it yet, please do. It's really, really hilarious and incriminating, and pointing blame when to point and blame itself. Anyway, speaking to Bloomberg, Novogratz characterized SBF as delusional following his declaration in the live interview that never tried to commit fraud. He says it's kind of surprising that his lawyers are letting him speak, Novogratz said, before adding, having watched two interviews, the word delusional kept coming to mind. Yeah, I think delusional. Please don't point fingers at your cohorts and say, "Hey, they did it." It's if it's a company that you own, man. Sam Free was blaming Alameda in that interview, but he owns Alameda, so you know, it's interesting to see how this is going. But the mainstream media is making him out to be a saint. No saint. We'll see what happens. Should be in jail. I agree. Oh, I hope, and I agree with Mike Novogratz, and I hope that Mike has taken care of that really ugly looted tattoo on his shoulder and taken that off. And I wish him the best with that. So let us talk about Bitcoin. I don't usually talk about Bitcoin on my show specifically, but we need to talk about Bitcoin. Now, we're going to talk about outflows. A Bitcoin miner outflow ratio has hit a 6-month high in a new threat to the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin is entering a prime low risk bottom zone as sellers finally accept FTX losses. Data from on-chain analytics firm Glassnode, which is one of the best data providers in the industry, shows that seller exhaustion is reaching ideal levels for a BTC price leg up. Almost 1 month after the FTX implosion, Bitcoin investors have either capitulated and sold at a loss or continue to hodl unrealized losses. Those losses became significant just days before the FTX event, but another on-chain metric now is painting a potentially more bullish picture when it comes to hodlers' loss-making BTC investments. The seller exhaustion constant, which measures the relationship between supply and profits and 30-day volatility, is repeating behavior from June this year. Remember, June things were good. Originally created by ARK Invest and David Puel, responsible for the Puel multiple, the seller exhaustion constant suggests that when volatility is low but losses are high, it is less likely that Bitcoin will go lower. Interesting. Specifically, the combination of low volatility and high losses is associated with capitulation, complacency, and a bottoming out of the Bitcoin price. So, does that mean Bitcoin's going to 10K, or does it mean it's going up from here? Let me know your thoughts about that interesting scenario. Okay, so now we're going to go over to South America. I haven't touched on South America in a few weeks. Brazil passes law to legalize crypto as a payment method. Oh, wow, cool. So while Brazil has not made Bitcoin legal tender as El Salvador did last year, the South American nation has passed a law that legalizes crypto payments throughout the country. The Chamber of Deputies of Brazil, a federal legislative body, has passed a regulatory framework that legalizes the use of cryptocurrencies as a payment method within the country. While this makes significant progress for crypto within Brazil, the law still requires the signature of the president of the Brazil for it to be enacted. All right, good deal. So, and if anybody hears my background, my dog is barking, and I don't know why. You must see a squirrel, but we're going to continue on to talk about Ukraine because my book on Ukraine's been out there now a month. So you should check it out. It's called Old Paradigms Die Hard. And it's an amazing book based on interviews that I conducted from February to May of 2022 with entrepreneurs, founders, artists, government agencies, regulators in Ukraine about how they're building a sovereign digital economy. Check it out. It's on Amazon, also on Barnes & Noble. So, Ukraine collabs with international consultants to update crypto framework. Working on their national crypto framework, the amendments to the law on virtual assets, the Ukrainian regulatory community actively collaborates with international experts. The list includes the international consultancy firm Ernst & Young and the USAID Financial Sector Reform Project. On December 1st, the Advisory Council of the Regulation of Virtual Assets, organized by the National Securities and Stock Market Commission, held its first meeting. The regulatory experts discussed the amendments to the law on virtual assets, which should adjust the national tax code to crypto regulation. The event was attended by representatives of the President's Office, the National Bank of Ukraine, expert organizations, and the market community. Things are moving forward. Things are moving great. They are working on that. So that is awesome. And now we are going to talk about the counterpart, Russia. Okay. Crypto miners in Russia capitalize on the bear market by hoarding ASIC devices. Miners in Russia have been likely increasing their buying of crypto ASICs due to reduced prices of mining devices as well as low energy costs. Crypto miners in Russia appear to be unbothered by the ongoing crisis of crypto mining, as the local demand for mining hardware has reportedly been on the surge in Q4 2022. Some crypto mining hardware distributors in Russia have faced a significant spike in demand for mining designed application-specific integrated circuit chips, which are ASICs. The local news agency in Kommersant reported. Local dealer Chilkoot reported its ASIC sales in November and October exceeded the entire sales made in Q3. Over the past 9 months, the distributor reportedly sold 65% more hardware than in 2021. Interesting. So they're hoarding ASICs, and New York State, where I live next to, is doing everything they can to kill crypto mining. Interesting. Let me know your thoughts. Okay. Now, let's go to Hong Kong. Okay. Let me leave Europe and go to Hong Kong. Hong Kong, go to Asia. Hong Kong working on investor protection regulations, says their central bank executive. Central bank governors from around the globe are currently in Thailand. They're meeting in Thailand to discuss the role of central banks amid evolving financial technology. The conference is jointly hosted by the Bank of Thailand and the Bank for International Settlements. A panel discussion on digitalized money systems saw Eddie Yue, Chief Executive Officer of the Hong Kong Monetary Authority, and some other people from Korea, New Zealand, all over, discuss the rise of digital assets and CBDCs and the risks of them. And basically, Mr. Yue said we could start with regulating off chain activities, okay, like regulating virtual asset exchanges. Hong Kong will soon introduce not just anti money laundering aspect, but also investor protection. They're actually going to install investor protection, not just talk about it. Gary, listen up to Hong Kong guys. So, you know, that's not regulation by enforcement. It's regulation by creating policies and standards and stuff like that, which is really, really respectful and admirable. Now, let's go to Japan. Binance acquires regulated crypto exchange in Japan. Binance, cryptocurrency exchange Binance, plans to re-enter the Japanese market after acquiring a 100% stake in a licensed crypto service provider in the country. In an official public announcement on November 30th, Binance CEO CZ said the crypto exchange was committed to re-entering the Japanese market under regulatory compliance. The acquisition of Sakura Exchange Bitcoin SEBC, a Japan financial services agency licensed business, would mark the re-entry of global exchange in the Japanese market after 4 years. Really cool. You guys need something a little bit better than Bitcoin Cash. All right. So, but staying in Japan, let's talk about FTX. FTX Japan drafts plan to return client funds. The Japanese subsidiary of now defunct FTX crypto exchange has come out with a roadmap to resume withdrawals, not referrals, after confirming that its customers' assets are not part of the FTX's bankruptcy proceedings. The firm provided an update on December 1, stating it has been able to confirm that its customer assets should not be part of FTX Japan's estate due to Japanese regulations, which mandate that crypto exchanges must separate client funds from their own assets. Sam, Japan says they must separate their funds from client funds. Anyway, so this is according to Landis Rath and Cobe, the law firm representing FTX Group in Japan. Looks like they have it right in Japan. Let me know your thoughts. Hey, let me know your thoughts if things are right in Japan. Last but not least, let's go to Thailand. That meeting I said before was in Thailand. We are in Thailand. Thai VC fund acquires troubled exchange ZipMex for $100 million. After weeks of negotiations on a potential buyout of ZipMex, venture capital fund V Ventures has reportedly reached a deal to acquire the embattled cryptocurrency exchange. V Ventures, a subsidiary of the Resin Thai agencies, public company, is looking to purchase a 90% stake in ZipMex crypto exchange. The VC fund is about to acquire ZipMex for $100 million in digital assets and cash. Anonymous sources familiar with the matter claimed. Citing a court hearing on Friday in Singapore, the report says ZipMex was offered $30 million in cash and the rest in crypto. It's good to see M&A deals are occurring. M&A might be the next leg up in crypto, Just putting it out there. A year and a half ago, I wrote an article for Johnny Fry over in check him out over in the UK. Great guy, great chap. He does a weekly newsletter called Digital Bytes. I said that the U.S. institutions were going to try to steal DeFi from the crypto community. So far, it's looking that way, isn't it? Let me know your thoughts. Anyway, hopefully, you guys have a great weekend. Hopefully, everybody had a great Thanksgiving. Join me each and every Friday, no matter what, no matter if I have, I don't know, if I have a cancer operation or if I have COVID or if I have, if I got, sunblock or sunburn on my whole entire body, whatever it is, I'm here. I'm here. The world could be falling down, but I will be here for you. So join me each and every week on Friday for the X Factor with the Crypto Hipster. And my thoughts are my own, but hopefully you guys can learn something from what I'm offering you and what I'm talking about. Have a great weekend. Have a great week. I'll see you next week.